Hello everyone, we're going to go and take a look at the iPad 10th generation and compare it against the Samsung Galaxy Tab S9 FE and see which particular tablet is a better one for you. Now I will definitely tell you, probably for a lot of people, the Samsung Galaxy Tab S9 FE in some ways does hold up a little bit better than the iPad 10, but I do feel like even between both, there's still a lot of capability between both of these. I don't know if there's necessarily like a no-brainer to go and pick up, but if I were to go and pick up a particular tablet, it might make more sense in some ways to pick up the Tab S9 FE and the iPad 10. We'll talk about that throughout this whole entire video. If you want to pick up either one of these particular tablets, links will be down in the description. You can get them from there and you can help support the channel at the exact same time. Now, starting off with the outside, the iPad 10th generation, which originally came out back in 2022, on the front of this particular panel has a 10.9-inch Liquid Retina IPS panel. And definitely when it comes down to it, I'll say this is a very good looking panel for the most part. It's not perfect or anything, but I think, for the most part, no matter what you're going to do with it, it's probably going to be okay. The thing with this particular panel is that you're getting the top and bottom bezels, and overall, like I said before, it's not terrible. And I do think, if you're going to pick up an iPad, it's probably a good, tablet panel, but it's just a 60 Hz panel, so keep that in mind. On the Tab S9 FE, this is also an IPS LCD panel. It's 1440p, so it's still fairly high resolution, but it is a 90 Hz panel over, the 60 Hz that we're getting on the iPad 10. On top of that, these are basically the same exact size displays, so I think that is really nice to basically have that exact same size display on both. But I will say, in my personal opinion, it is very nice to have that type of capability on the Samsung Galaxy, Tab S9 FE of having that 90 Hz or with the 60 Hz on the iPad 10. Both are giving you flat sides on both, which look and feel very great. You're still getting USB Type-C on the bottom of both these tablets. You're actually getting, a very good build quality on both of these tablets, which again is something I love seeing. And if you're going to go and pick up a tablet, it's very nice to have that type of capability on both, which again, like I said before, is something I love seeing. Now, on top of that, another very big thing between both are the cameras on the back, and we'll go and talk about that right now. So both are giving you single camera setups on the backside, which, as I mentioned before, is, very nice. I like having single camera setups, but I like having multiple camera setups more. On the iPad 10, you're getting a 12 megapixel wide and then a 12 megapixel ultra-wide camera on the front. With the Tab S9 FE, you're getting an 8 megapixel camera on the back and a 12 megapixel ultra-wide camera on the front. So the thing here is funny, on the Tab S9 FE, the back camera is actually not as good as the front camera in some cases. You're able to get 4K at 60 on the back of the iPad 10. The back of the S9 FE gives you 4K at 30. You're also able to get 1080p on the front, but I will probably say when it comes down to the overall, cohesiveness of both these cameras, the Samsung Galaxy Tab S9 FE camera probably isn't as good as something as the iPad 10 camera. And that's just kind of how I feel about it. I feel like both are good, but the iPad 10 I think is probably the slightly better one, just because you are getting higher resolutions and higher frame rates that you can basically film in. So that right there is basically one big thing to kind of keep in mind here as well. Now, on top of that, when it comes down to the software longevity side, this is also another very interesting thing here, because these are, one of those types of devices that you have to look at, and you have to be kind of okay with the way this particular device, both these devices are going to age. The thing is that the Tab S9 FE has a little bit of a different type of chipset inside compared to the iPad 10. The iPad 10 we can kind of look at and see how long this tablet's going to last. With the Tab S9 FE, we're not really 1000% too sure how long a tablet like that is going to last, and that could very well mean that for some people, it may be kind of a weirder type of scenario on that, on that particular tablet. But if I'm going to be honest, I'll probably say that between both are very good. You're not going to really experience too many crazy bad issues between both. But I do feel like a tablet like the Tab S9 FE probably is not going to last as long as something like the iPad 10. So kind of keep that in mind there. On top of that, when it comes down to the performance on both, the iPad 10 is giving you that Apple A14 body chip inside of it with 4GB of RAM, with the Samsung Galaxy Tab S9 FE is giving you that Exynos 1380 chipset inside with 6 or 8 gigabytes of RAM. And the thing I would definitely tell you about the RAM and the performance of both these tablets is that, in my personal opinion, as I mentioned before, I think the performance of something like a Samsung Galaxy Tab S9 FE is great and it's good and everything, but I definitely do think, in my personal opinion, something like the Samsung Galaxy Tab S9 FE probably isn't as good as something like the iPad 10. And if I'm going to go and pick up a tablet, I'll probably say that the Tab S9 FE is a good performing tablet, but I think the iPad 10 might be the better one here, probably for, the everyday person. So from that standpoint and from all standpoints, I kind of do feel like when it comes down to both of these, both these tablets are great and I like both, but I probably think the iPad 10 would be the one that I would probably recommend buying. I think that would be the one that I would pick up and I would look at it, on an everyday basis, and I would probably say that one is the one that I'm more of a fan of rather than something like the Samsung Galaxy Tab S9 FE. But the FE is still a very good tablet and I'm still a humongous fan of it. But I think the iPad 10 is probably the one I'd recommend the average person to go ahead and so. From that side, that kind of covers it up there. If you have any other thoughts or questions, please let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.